I actually agreed my views as a modern politologist, as a liberal Californian politician who wants to implement progressive change in American politics, such as raising minimum wage to its living minimum wage of $12 an hour, to help businesses boost their profit, to help individuals prosper and thrive, and to help working class people to thrive in the Californian economy. And also, I want to establish a law that guarantees same-sex marriage, and also I want to declare amnesty to all illegal aliens who are eligible for amnesty as non-criminal hard-working people with their sponsors. They have sponsors like they have employment with local employers, and they are eligible for amnesty, and they should be granted temporary work cards in order to uphold human rights of immigrants to work. And I also believe that withdrawing all the troops from Afghanistan and to stop imperialist butchery. That reactionary American Democrat, Chicago Senator from narco mafia, Barack Obama, he decided to strike out against the American people, against the interests of young Americans, in order to make an imperialist slaughter, a real imperialist slaughter in Afghanistan. And Miss Clinton, Hillary Clinton, she's mean-spirited, U.S. corrupt U.S. senator from New York, who took bribe, $4 million disguised as a book deal from imperialists such as Russian imperialists like Oleg Kalugin and his cronies, and from American imperialists, in order to conduct imperialist warfare in Afghanistan, that slaughtered thousands of innocent lives, and unless and violated human rights and created humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. Unless Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton stop preaching hatred toward Muslims and stop making a war against Muslim Afghanistan, start respecting national sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Afghan Republic, start respecting the President Karzai government, who is quite capable, and its military quite capable to talk rebels, like Taliban rebels, to stop the insurgency. Unless Hillary Clinton does that, she's doomed to go to jail on corruption charges. She will be indicted. Hillary Clinton and Barack will be indicted for corruption charges, for taking bribes as disguised as a book deal, memos, book deals. And the only book deal we will get is a federal deal with federal prosecutors to cut down on their federal sentences for corruption charges. So believe in liberal Democrats. Liberal Democrats are true hope for working class people, for international public. So I would appreciate if you give donations for me as a liberal Democrat to lead my campaign for House of Representative seats in California Congress, starting January 2010, when I am eligible for election as a naturalized U.S. citizen. Counting my residency time of 7 years of U.S. citizens residing in United States of America. So I would appreciate if pro-liberal minded public gave generously, to help liberals in order to survive and to raise funds for their electoral campaign for vying for a seat in the House of Representatives of California, as a liberal candidate who truly serves liberal ideas. And please call me on my home phone number, 661-729-1512, to give you donations for a liberal Democrat like I am, who upholds human rights to work, and human rights to travel, immigrate, human right to express freedom of speech. I also believe that Russian President Putin, he is the organizer of the murder of Anna Politkovsky and Alexander Litvinenko. At his press conference a few years ago, Russian ex-president Vladimir Putin told the public that he knew that former FSB lead agent Alexander Litvinenko stole explosives from FSB base, and he also beat up Russian citizens and commit battery. And then former Russian spy Alexander Litvinenko, I believe he was spied for severe or other Russian foreign spy services, and he also threatened late journalist Anna Politkovskaya, who was his close buddy, with assassination, because when she asked him if we are going to murder her, Anna Politkovskaya asked him, and he told, yeah, we are going to murder him. He meaning that FSB and Russia spies. And he also blamed at his London press conference, which I watched a few days ago. I watched late Russian FSB agent and spy Alexander Litvinenko proclaiming that ex-president Vladimir Putin, Russian nationalist and national communist, he did kill her. He did set terrorists to kill her. And I also believe that communist triad of Russian spies, like that include Shamil Basayev, renowned Chechen terrorist, who confessed blowing up Russian civilians. He would told public that he did blow up Russian civilians in spite of being innocent people. And also Alexander Litvinenko, we all knew each other, and a photograph in Wall Street Journal for last year, for February 2007, Wall Street Journal depicted this trio of Russian spies, communist spies, Alexander Litvinenko, Anna Politkovskaya, and Shamil Basayev, together, 3 of them in London. It was communist triad that actually acted on orders from the Kremlin, as Alexander Litvinenko knew personal phone number of Russian president, national communist from FSB, former KGB terrorist Vladimir Putin, and this ex-KGB terrorist Vladimir Putin is one who organized terrorist acts in Russia. Also, that Russian FSB major Kondratyev also confessed blowing up houses in Russia, in Moscow. He also planted bomb. In the book of Yuri Felshtinsky, I've read that blowing up Russia, this book of Yuri Felshtinsky, that's blowing up Russia, which was banned in Russia as Russians persecute free of press. And he told that Mayor Kondratyev admitted that FSB ordered him to blow up Russian house in Moscow. He also grew military spy Lieutenant Galkin also confessed being captivated by Chechen rebels, that he did blow up, his team did blow up houses in Buyansk, in Dagestan, in Buyansk, and also that's Colonel Trepashkin. He also admitted that involvement of FSB in terrorist acts in this book of Yuri Felshtinsky, Blow Up Russia. And Yuri Felshtinsky, that American historian, he truly befriended late Russian spy Alexander Litvinenko, who I believe was killed on President Putin's orders by Lugavoy, former FSB lead man and former KGB agent, who was sent by Yegor Gaidar, former vice president, former prime minister of Russian President Boris Yeltsin, who used to say he gave all his money to his wife in 1992. Yegor Gaidar, former prime minister of late President Yeltsin, he received order from ex-president Vladimir Putin in order to assassinate FSB defector and former terrorist Alexander Litvinenko. And I believe that Lugavoy should be indicted and prosecuted on murder assassination charges, as he poured radioactive isotopes into Russian FSB defector Alexander Litvinenko food, Chinese meal in the Chinese restaurant. He met Alexander Litvinenko repeatedly, as Alexander Litvinenko was part of Russian spy network in Great Britain.